Continuing our focus on the big debate around stray dogs, even as Chief Justice of India has said that he will look into the issue while hearing a matter related to stray dogs that was listed before him today. Justice JB Pardiwala had passed the order for relocation of stray dogs to shelters. Remember, the petitioners have argued that there was an earlier Supreme Court order in 2024 where petitions relating to stray dogs were relegated to high courts.
That's right. Every legal development in this case is being closely watched, Vasudha, even as there are continuing reports of attacks by stray dogs from around the country. Sharp reactions have come from across the political class, and the issue has also been raised in the Karnataka Legislative Council. In fact, a member of the Legislative Council from the JDS, Boje Gowda, told the House that he even ordered the poisoning and killing of around 2,800 dogs when he was the head of the Chikkamagaluru Corporation. It's an extremely controversial claim that will incite sharp criticism, but these are the kind of reactions that are coming in. Listen in.
ನಮಗೂ ಕರುಣೆ ಇದೆ ರೀ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ. ನಿಮ್ಮನೆಗೂ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕಾಟ ಪ್ರಾಣಿ ಪರಿಸರ ವ್ಯಾಧಿಗಳು ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೋದಲ್ರಿ ವಿಧಾನಸೌಧ ಅಳಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ಸಣ್ಣ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಪಾಪ ಗೋಳಾಡ್ತವೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಪೇಪರಲ್ಲಿ ದಿನನಿತ್ಯ ಓದ್ತೀರಿ, ಟಿವಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತೀರಿ. ಪ್ರತಿನಿತ್ಯ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರತಿನಿತ್ಯ ಅಡ್ಮಿಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ದಯಮಾಡಿ ಫೋರ್ತ್ ವಿತ್ತು ನೀವು ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಂದ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ತಾಳಿ ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಪಿಟಿಷನ್ ಹಾಕಿ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಇದು ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಬಂದು ಇಡೀ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಇಂಥ ಒಂದು ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟಿಗೆ ಕೇಳಿದೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಹೆಸರು ಬರಲಿ. ನೋಡೋಣ ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಜಡ್ಜ್ಗಳು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಅವ್ರ ಮಕ್ಳಿಗೆ ಆದ್ರೆ ತೊಂದರೆ ಆದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಳಿಗೆ ತೊಂದರೆ ಆದ್ರೆ ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಜಡ್ಜ್ ಮಕ್ಳಿಗೆ ತೊಂದರೆ ಇದು ಒಂದು ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ತಾಗ್ತಿರಲ್ವ ನೀವು. ನಾನು ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷ ಆಗಿದ್ದೆ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ, ಮುನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷ ಆದನು. ನನ್ನ 2800 ನಾಯಿಯನ್ನ ಇದು ಮಾಂಸ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಇದು ಹಾಕೋ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಅವ್ರು ಸಾಯಿಸಿ ತೆಂಗಿ ಮರಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಉಣಿಸಿದ್ದೆ ನಾನು ಒಂದು ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ. ಆಯ್ತು ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ಜೈಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಲ್ರಿ ಈ ಮಕ್ಳಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ, ಅದಕ್ಕೂ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡೋಣ, ನೋಡೋಣ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ನೋಡೋಣ.
Well, that's an extremely controversial statement by a legislator. Remember, there are multiple reactions that have come in, multiple different points of view on it. There is absolute unanimity that there needs to be a solution, but then what's the solution? It has to be humane in nature. So serious concerns there. Joining us this evening, stand-up comedian Radhika Vaz, Dr. Anurag Agarwal of the Consortium Against Rabies. We'll also have Shonali Chopra, a lawyer at the Delhi High Court, join us in a bit. But first to you, Radhika Vaz, there are multiple points of view. How do we reconcile the fact that there are increasing number of videos of stray dog attacks on human beings, children, elderly, and on the other hand that one needs to find a solution to perhaps an increasing number of stray dogs on our roads and streets, which needs to be a humane solution as well? Is there a possible reconciliation of all this?
Hi, and thank you so much for having me. The first thing I just want to point out is that I do just as a citizen, I'm not an activist or anything, but I am just a person who loves dogs. I have 8 dogs of my own. 7 of them are Indies. They're all adopted. One is a rescue who was abandoned. She's a breed dog that was abandoned by a family who bought it and then 1 year later decided to just throw her out on the street. I definitely have some empathy for people who have been bitten by dogs. But I do want to say that it is very irresponsible of all the news channels, including this one, that you're only showing a lot of very, very severe footage of these animals being aggressive when that is not the case with all stray dogs. For every one dog that might bite a person, there are hundreds that do not bite us. They don't even come near us. They're so afraid of us because of the amount of
How do I know the difference
pain
as a
and
citizen?
aggravation. Because you can see that, actually, to be honest with you. Do you have dogs, sir? Do you feed dogs? Because if you did, you would understand what I'm saying. And I'm not trying to pick a fight with you. I'm simply telling you my perspective, right? Which is why you invited me on here, and I'm very grateful to have
I'm sorry, Vasudha, I'm just interrupting
one
here.
second.
Radhika, my point is very simple. My point is very simple. No, there are people, there are children who get bitten up. There are old people. They don't know the difference. How do we differentiate between the two? You cannot be completely insensitive to the other side of the story as well.
I'm not being insensitive. I said I have empathy for the other side of the story. That was the first thing I said. Yeah. But I'm also asking for empathy for our side of the story, for the dog side of the story. Because to say that if one husband beats one wife, should all the husbands in my building be rounded up and taken to jail? That's not a solution.
Right.
We know for a fact that, right? So we know for a fact it's scientific information out there. Sterilize, vaccinate. I have sterilized personally and vaccinated more than 20 dogs. There are no shelters run by the government, to my knowledge, here in Delhi. All the work that I do with shelters are privately funded by citizens like myself and other people. The thing that is also very worrying to people like me is the anger and the agitation that's coming from the other side. They are so angry that honestly, I'm worried that they might bite me. I'm literally afraid when I see these people.
To also ask you, I'm a big fan of your writing. I was recently reading the one on live-in relationships and I was laughing about it so much, but clearly this is something so serious. Radhika, I want to know, why has this become such a polarizing debate? Because I had posted on X today that dog feeders and dog lovers are part of the community. There needs to be dialogue. So clearly, why has this become both sides clearly hate each other? What do we do to sort of increase the dialogue between both sides? Because everybody is a stakeholder here.
Absolutely. And I can guarantee you that the dog feeders and the dog lovers, we do not hate anyone. We just love the dogs. We don't want any trouble. We are trying to do our bit by sterilizing and vaccinating them on our own. The big issue, and I'll tell you this, is a fact. 6-7 years ago, what started to happen was the RWAs and the MCD started relocating dogs. So somebody in my location would maybe complain about a group of dogs who hadn't really done anything, maybe barked. But they were then taken and planted in another location, and dogs from another location were simply moved to ours. That causes fear and terror for the dogs. And any organism in fear, doesn't have food, is afraid for themselves, is in a strange location, they are lost, they will react very badly.
Dr. Anurag, that's an important point.
Sonali Chopra, who's a lawyer and an activist, also joins us live right now. Dr. Anurag Chopra also with us. Very briefly, Dr. Anurag Chopra, you heard what Radhika Vas is saying there. There needs to be dialogue. It seems to be that the other side, either side, is unwilling to listen to the other.
Yeah, so first of all, the Supreme Court needs to be congratulated for bringing this issue into limelight. See, what dog lovers say is that, yes, we want to feed the dogs wherever we feel like. This is unjustified. Simply feeding a dog on the road or feeding the dog anywhere you feel like is totally unjustified. We need to have some kind of a control on the dog population. You know what is the status of dog bites in our city like of Delhi? It is 2.5% per year. That means 2.5 people are bitten out of 100 every year. So if you take a rough estimate, it will be around 25% in 10 years and 100% in 40 years. So each of us will have been bitten 1 to 3 times in a lifespan of 80 years. Do we want that? Do we want strays to be on these streets? Yes, dog vaccination is an important step. I totally agree with that. If you are able to vaccinate 70% of dogs, you will be able to cut down the transmission of rabies to literally zero. So yes, that is a low-hanging fruit which we should be able to achieve. Sterilization. It is difficult. You have millions of dogs on these streets. How many will you sterilize? Your problem is this big. One dog sterilization costs you around 2,000 to 2,400 rupees. Do we have the budget? Do we have the capacity? Do we have the veterinarians available? Do we have the dog catchers available to do things like this? So it is a huge problem which we are facing. And as I always say
I
that...
just feel that creating the kind of infrastructure that the Supreme Court has talked for is also looking at very extreme solutions here. Sonali, help us understand. You've been taking part in protest, and Veera and I are on different sides here because I do feel that we need empathetic solutions and we need, of course, public safety is important. But I don't think a lot of things that the Supreme Court has said is actually doable. Sonali, what is your sense of this discussion? What is yours? Where are you on this debate? We know that you've been part of many protests. Help us understand what is the way forward.
The order of the Supreme Court is definitely not the way forward. It definitely is not. The only way forward is the proper implementation of the already existing system as per the ABC rules. And like Radhika said, I am actually with her. I personally, from my own funds, have also sterilized. Bring us in. We don't hate anybody. We just love the dog. Bring us in, talk to us. There is a complete provision in law for designated feeding areas. But that requires all RWA stakeholders to talk to us, take our inputs, ask us. Who's ever asked us? You cannot simply just make one designated feeding area and say all dogs are fed here. It's not how they work. It's not the science. They are territorial. We know their territories. Ask us. We will tell you.
Say all this, Sonali, I have one very final question to Radhika and you. You know, we say we want world-class infrastructure, we want world this one. Is this the way the rest of the world also does with stray dogs? Would it be okay to have stray dogs running around in parks in, let's say, a country like the US or the UK, Radhika?
I don't think it would be okay, but then they have shelters and they have a lot of infrastructure to help, especially abandoned dogs. The United States has a problem with abandoned dogs because there are stupid people there too who buy dogs that they can't take care of and then just drop them off wherever they feel like. But they're taken into shelters. The government helps with that. We don't have that. We have to build the infrastructure. That's what we're saying. And I'll tell you one more thing, sir. I feed 3 dogs myself in a particular location. I have befriended everybody in that community. I have gone and I have told them, I've asked them for their help. They are so helpful. The people that are so kind, even though they don't have the dogs and they don't want to feed them, but they are very helpful with me because I've had the dogs vaccinated, sterilized, that they get their deworming medications. If I have done that with 3 dogs, I know there are many, many helpers out there who are doing it with much larger population.
Maybe Dr. Anurag just needs to have 10 seconds to make his point. Very, very briefly. Dr. Anurag.
So what I was trying to say is that, look, this is a multidimensional problem. It is not to be handled by dog lovers or dog haters. There is no such thing as a dog lover and a dog hater. We all want a solution to this problem. The Western world has done it, and they have a system of shelters, adoption of dogs, and putting down of dogs when there is nobody to adopt the dog. So a lot of systems are being followed in the Western world. Now, we people need some kind of approach. This approach is known as the One Health approach, wherein we need the veterinarians, the public health specialists, the environmentalists, and the people from social sciences to sit together and find a solution to this problem. See, again, why does the population of dogs flourish? Because it is getting free food everywhere, in front of the societies, under cars. They are getting foods everywhere. Drains are open, water is overflowing. They're getting water to drink, and this population will thrive. That is what is needed for a population to thrive. So we need to learn.
We'll leave this conversation here. It's an intense debate, but as Radhika says, as Sonali says, and as you say, it's no dog lover, dog hater. It's got to be a solution that we get everybody together, sit down. Vasudha, I'm not taking any sides on this debate.
Absolutely, but this should be about policymakers and science, compassion, and more importantly, all of us. With that, it's time for a short break. We'll be back on the other side.